Janina, welcome to the White Stripe Podcast.
Hello!
How are you?
I'm good! Doing great! So sa lahat po ng mga nakikinig ngayon, I forced Trey to have me on to the podcast. He's welcoming me here because he's a nice guy. But the truth is, I coerced him into, giving me a slot here on
Yeah,
the White Stripe podcast.
pretty much. I was like, I'm not so sure. I don't
Yeah,
think
I
you're
know.
really suited for it.
Honestly, medyo obvious yun kasi ilang taon na ba? Wait, how old is this podcast? A year?
Almost a
2
year, almost
years?
a year.
Almost a year. See,
Yeah.
isang taon nang nakalipas. You've had my brother twice. You've had my best friend twice. And, you know, I would say no hard feelings, but
Yeah,
I
so,
would be lying.
so you messaged me about it. Can you tell me about the moment when you were just like, I'm going to text him about it?
No, no. Oh, okay. So I was with Camille,
Yeah.
and she was talking about the podcast because that was right after you released her second
Yeah,
episode.
that's right. Yep.
And she was talking about it. I was like, oh wow, that's so nice. Why hasn't he asked me? I was like, and then I messaged him. I was like, I'm an interesting person. I have things to say.
Yeah.
Like, this is so offensive. I'm just kidding. To anybody who doesn't know me, I'm just kidding. Okay.
Yeah. No, it was funny because I was gonna ask you like a month from this recording, like just honestly, like that was the plan, but you just
Ruined your plans.
it's fine. Plans get ruined. That's how life works. So a few minutes ago, you tweeted something. I don't want to go into it, but like, how are you? Because like something happened, right? And you tweeted
Yeah.
about it. Yeah, how are you with that?
Yeah. Honestly, I am shocked but not surprised.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
are we talking about what I tweeted or are we talking
We
about
don't. We
the
don't
news?
need to. We don't need to yet.
Okay.
Just
I know. Shocked but not surprised. It's like, oh wow, another one. And so I do tweet a lot about political things, but I don't always tweet because I don't want to just be a random voice in the echo chamber.
right.
But this time it was just, I don't know, man. I was a little, if anybody has my notifications on, they would know that I deleted that tweet thrice.
Oh, you did.
From 7:30 to 8 p.m. Literally, I posted it and I was like, no, okay, we'll delete it. And then like after that, I was like, no, delete it.
Yeah, right,
and then I ended up leaving it up there.
Did you edit it?
I don't know.
Or
I
was it the
edited
same
it a
tweet?
bit.
Okay.
It was the same tweet. I just made it a little bit, I just edited some words.
Like what?
Yeah, but it was. Oh no! I just
Did
instead
you want
of
to change the
saying,
tone of it? Did you wanna? What did you want to do?
no,
with
I just
it?
wanted to make it a little bit more flowery in words so that it's
Okay,
not so
all right.
hard hitting.
Okay,
No, because originally I had said our government valued
Go for it.
our government valued personal gain over Filipinos' lives, and so I just twisted it around a little just so that it sounded a. I don't know. Honestly, I'm just maarte sometimes.
Okay.
Where I said that our government values the filling of their wallets over the lives of the Filipinos.
Yeah.
So honestly, same topic. I don't know what happened. Maybe this will make it nicer. It didn't. I still got hate, but who cares?
Well, yeah. I'm gonna ask you a bit about that, but before that,
Yeah.
I want to kind of go back, right? So I always get curious when somebody ends up successful at something at a pretty young age. So I get kind of curious
Very
about
type
that.
3 of you.
Right? So I get really curious about that. But did you always imagine this to be the life you'd live when you were a kid? Like, did you think, oh, I want to make YouTube videos and host and sing and do all that stuff?
No, I thought I would be living in a castle. I genuinely thought ballet was my path. I would find a prince, stuff like that. But obviously reality hit and, I don't want to be a princess. It seems like a tough job, man.
It is. It is.
Yeah, right.
Right,
That's
quite
a
difficult.
whole thing in itself. Go Meghan Markle. Well, she's
Yeah.
not you get it. But, I always thought that I would I knew I wanted to be a singer. I knew that I wanted to do something in the creative field. But YouTube was never part of the plan. None of this was actually part of the plan. And I feel like that was a huge part of my life, was that nothing went according to plan because I had no plan. Which is what made life fun, because every single year God would, I always use this, but then lamp unto my feet, light unto my path, where the lamp was literally only at the floor, where I could only see a few inches ahead and not the entire street. Where, okay, I see 3 inches ahead, let's take that step. Oh, okay, we're in a theater show right now.
Right.
Okay, another step ahead. Okay, wow, I have an Instagram business now. Okay, a few steps ahead, we're in voice acting. A few steps ahead, okay, now I'm in, so random, right? And then now I'm on YouTube, and then a few steps ahead, it's hosting, and then it's singing, and then here we are.
Now you're on the West Side podcast. This is probably like...
I know, this is the peak.
Yes.
I know. Dude, I don't know what's going to happen after this. It's like my life will just go down. It's a downward spiral from this moment.
You know what? Like, you do so much, right? And I'm not here to just praise you, but I want to ask you a few questions. What makes you cringe the most among everything you've done? Like, looking back.
About like my career?
Yeah, your career.
There's this one video. It's my Daiso haul.
Okay.
That video makes me cringe.
Why?
And you know what? I'll be kind. You can check that out. Dude, my voice was so squeaky. I don't know. Hindi ko alam kung bakit akala ko na yun yung, yun yung attractive sa akin. Kaya magsusubscribe yung mga tao. Like, oh my gosh, her voice is so squeaky. Let's go. Like, subscribe.
Subscribe.
I know. Yeah, that's it. No. But that video was so cringe to me because I didn't know. I was putting on this interesting persona of Janina, but like 100 times more.
Yeah.
And I think as the years went by, I kind of took that down a notch and slowly just became Janina.
What's the difference between Janina Vela and your personality away from the cameras? Because like I've seen you like away from the cameras, but how would you describe yourself?
Is there a difference to you? I want to ask you that.
A bit, yeah.
A bit?
Yeah. Well,
Why?
I mean, duh, you're more
Are you
prepared.
calling me
You're more
inauthentic
prepared
right
on
now?
camera. You're more prepared.
Yeah. I try to be
Yeah. I mean, like you still
a
have
little bit more
you
put
You still
together.
have energy, of course. You're still you, but how would you describe yourself?
Janina Vela versus Janina? That's an interesting question. Well, I think I really hope that it's not that far off from who I am and who I am online, right? But I feel like there is a certain pressure to not do anything wrong or to not make a mistake. And so that does cause me to be more prepared, as you mentioned, to be more put together, to, sit up straighter and speak a little bit more enunciated than me just rambling on.
Yeah.
But I feel like it all comes from the same well anyway, the same knowledge, the same empathy, the same love, the same enthusiasm. It just gets packaged a little bit nicer when I'm online.
Okay. Is that the main difference? Just the packaging? Because like you do seem like you're genuine on camera and off, so I'm not gonna doubt about that.
Yeah, I really do think that it's just the packaging because I feel like if anybody would just video me, honestly, I think I'm crazier offline.
Okay.
That's what I would say.
You are.
Yeah, I'm crazier offline. Definitely. I'm like in your face. I'm loud. I laugh horrifically loud and ugly. But yeah, I think, that's it. I think I'm just more free and crazy.
Are you ever afraid that someone's just videoing you at the mall?
I used to be.
Okay.
Especially at the peak of my career, that was always a fear, and that also came with. But then I realized that was the sacrifice of privacy. Nothing great ever comes without making sacrifices, and the sacrifice for my platform, for having thousands of people listen to what I had to say, was obviously a little bit of my privacy, and that was. That was something that I wrestled with for a lot of my, my younger years, a few years ago. And so that was obnoxious shades in the mall, caps everywhere, hoodies. And all of those things. But I don't know. I wouldn't, even if that was a sacrifice, I really wouldn't trade it for the world, because I'm still happy with my journey. I'm still happy with the platform that God has given me. I'm still happy with the connection I have with my VelaFam.
Right.
It's just a sacrifice.
When did you fully accept that fact that you had to trade the privacy for the platform, for the opportunity?
I think it was talking to my management. So my mom manages my YouTube,
Okay.
and I have a management cornerstone who manages more of like the showbiz side, the
Okay.
singing, the acting, and I think I was talking to them, and we had a conversation where they just told me, Janina, if you're not ready to take a picture with 100 people, don't go outside.
Oh, when was this?
And
What year?
um, I think I was 18,
Okay.
so
What
2018, something like
what
that.
pressure for an 18-year-old? But okay, go on.
Yeah, what pressure for. Well,
Yeah.
honestly, as a pastor's kid, it's not very new.
Alright. I
I
No, but yeah.
mean, keeping a smile on your face, again, sitting up straight and being courteous to everybody. It wasn't a new thing, but I think that's when it really set in where, okay, because if I do something wrong in public, it's gonna be trending on Twitter.
Yeah.
If I am, mean, or I don't reply over the top to a subscriber who asked for a picture, then that ends up in like huge flack in my community.
Right. When did you first realize that you were famous?
The first time I realized I was quote unquote famous, oh my god, was, I think it was a year after I had started. It was YouTube Fan Fest
Okay.
2016, maybe. YouTube Fan Fest 2016, I remember being there with Will Dasovich, and we were on the side stage. We were not even on the main stage.
Yeah,
We were
yeah.
on the side stage, and I remember meeting him outside in the loading dock, and we were like, okay, like, we can just go in, let's say hi to a few people, maybe we'll find some subscribers. And the moment the doors opened for us, it was, oh my gosh, the guards rushed. People were screaming, they were
Yeah.
tugging, they were pulling. It was rough, and I was like, what the heck is happening? Like, why? What? I was 16, 17 at the time.
Wow.
And so I think that was the first moment when I stood on that stage and I saw people really quote unquote screaming for me.
Right.
It was an out of body experience, because I'm like, you don't even know how I look like in the morning.
Yeah.
Like, my breath stinks maybe worse than yours. I don't know what's happening right
Okay.
now. But siguro yun yung unang moment. Yeah.
That's crazy because when I think about I would say the level you've gotten to, right, over all these years, I've always wondered if it was worth it. You know what I mean? Like, just genuinely, I've wondered, like, will I genuinely enjoy this? If you have that platform, you have these views that can't go unspoken. Because it's easy. Like, for me, if I was in your position and I had no strong convictions, that's easy. That's like, hey, yeah, just please everybody, right?
Yeah.
But what made you transition into being more vocal about your beliefs or your convictions? Not just who you were before, which was more makeup, beauty, lifestyle. So when did the transition happen?
Yeah, well, actually, my convictions, quote, quote, were there from the very beginning. I think they were just wrapped a different way, because at that time I was passionate about makeup. I was passionate about makeup. And so I met a couple of girls, and this is always my origin story, where I met a couple of girls in a mall, and they told me, for some odd reason, how much I had inspired them and how I much inspired them to be confident in their own skin and in their own bodies. And I was so confused, because I'm like, girl, I just post makeup videos. Like, I just post hauls. I don't know what you see in me. But that's when I realized that it starts with showing up, And so that realization that, okay, because I was standing on YouTube in a time where no other Filipina was, or not many, in the time where I was, teaching people things that weren't really out there, or as mass produced as they are now, like, that was already very inspiring to people, and I wanted to take that on a different level. and say, okay, if they're listening to me, and I always say this, but the connection between a YouTuber and a subscriber is so special because it's so intimate that they have your undivided attention for what, 7 to 15 minutes, and you can literally say anything and they will listen,
Right.
you're literally in their homes while they're on their beds and they're hearing what you have to say. And so I always ask myself, what do I want them to hear from me? What do I
Right.
want them to take away from those videos? And showing up turned into showing that there is more than just external beauty, and that became me preaching about inner beauty.
Yeah.
And then that ended up me preaching about confidence, women empowerment, and mental health. And slowly, as Janina Vela, or even just Janina,
Yeah.
grew into me, I so did my platform, and so did the depth, I think, of my platform, where I realized as time went by that I wasn't just passionate about makeup. I wasn't just passionate about fashion. I wasn't just passionate about vlogging my school stuff. But I realized that over the years, I was always passionate about people. And that had always been the general passion in my life. And that had always been the driving force, was that wherever I was placed, wherever I landed, whatever I was passionate about, I just needed to add value to whoever
Yeah.
was watching me.
Mhm.
And that's where, that's why I ended up in politics.
So before we get there, I also want to know this because that sounds like a long journey, right? That
Yeah.
sounds like you gone through so many phases of your life at, how old are you now? 22?
Mm-hmm.
You're 22. You've gone through so much already. But in the beginning, what was the goal? When you first turned on the camera,
Yeah.
when you first edited, I don't even know if you edited, but like if when you first uploaded it, what was the goal in the beginning?
Excuse me, I edited.
Oh, okay. Okay,
I
great.
I learned how to edit
Because fun
myself.
fact, I was actually uploading videos 2010.
Oh, really? What
Yeah.
videos?
It was me and my cousin Nathan. We would do funny
Oh,
videos. Yeah.
are they still public?
They're out there. I'm not going to say where they are.
Boy, I'm gonna look for those. I
And
need to see those.
yeah, you'll find them eventually.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. What was your question?
What is the, what was the goal in the beginning?
Yeah, what was the beginning? When I started YouTube, the moment that I told my parents that I wanted to do this thing, I told them I just want to reach 5,000 subscribers.
How old were you?
I was 15.
Okay.
I wanted to reach 5,000 subscribers. I wanted to partner. This is the only other goal. Partner with SM Department Store. That's it. I
Why?
wanted 5,000
Why?
subscribers and I
Okay.
wanted to partner with SM
Why
Department Store.
SM? Of all, if anything that you could have partnered with, was SM cool?
No, no. No. The thing is, because the whole reason why I decided to even start YouTube was because I was so into, parang ang dami kong pinapanood ng mga ibang YouTubers sa ibang mga countries, like
Yeah.
Remulla, Zoella, whoever. And obviously, they're not in the same climate as us. Obviously, may targets sila. Michaels, may whatever, Hobby Lobby. Tapos
Right.
wala tayong ganun, di ba, dito sa Philippines. So I was like, I need a localized version of this. So the girl
Yeah.
with frizzy, hair because of the tropical climate, and
Right.
somebody who shops at Divisoria.
Mhm.
Obviously, Divisoria wasn't going to sponsor me.
Oh, that'd be
So
nice.
SM Department Store was the next best thing.
That was the goal. The goal was SM Department Store.
Yes.
So you got it? Did you get it?
Yeah, I got it, I think 2 years after.
How'd you feel when you got it?
It was crazy. I felt like I went full circle, and that was like one of the moments where I was like, wow, my dreams are coming true.
Yeah. Were you like, I can retire now? Like this is
Yeah, I
it.
was like, I can rest in peace, honestly. Wow, SM Department Store noticed me.
And then what did the goal evolve into? Because of course you got the goal. You
Yeah.
got SM Department Store. What did it become after that?
Yeah, after that, it was, what was it? I think it was more, as those girls talked to me, the two girls, it was, I get, how do you say this? Inspiring girls that this is the secret mission, I guess,
Okay.
was inspiring girls that we don't have to adhere to the beauty standards that that the media tells us that we need to.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why, for me, it was focusing again inner beauty. It was focusing on, okay, my line was always, may the wings of your eyeliner always be even, for many, many
Yes.
years.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was my tagline. But then I realized, okay, you can have the nicest winged eyeliner, you can have the nicest mascara, but are your eyes open to see, the needs of people, to understand other people, to have empathy for people?
Mm-hmm.
Or are you okay? We're using this lotion to get soft hands, but are these hands that serve other people?
Right.
Are these hands that will help somebody up, support other people? Or you think about lipstick. Are these lips that speak words of life, of positivity to other people? And so I felt like that went beyond just standards of beauty, but it became a new standard that I felt like we had to set for women and youth, that physical attractiveness is not the goal, but a good heart and a heart that serves others. That's the goal.
Yeah. What does that look like? A heart that serves others.
I think a heart that serves others is a heart that will go out of its way, to, out of their comfort zone, even at the sacrifice,
Mm-hmm.
at some sacrifices, to, at least in my context now, is for equal rights
Yeah.
for different sectors, for different people, for different walks, people in different walks of life. But for some people, serving others could simply be loving others the way that you want to be loved,
Right.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is obviously going back to the Bible. But I think that's, you can serve others in words,
Mm-hmm.
of support, of you, again, speaking life, adding value. You can serve others in even just your physical presence of being there, being there. Okay, if you fail, it's fine, I'm here for you. Or maybe even going the extra mile of, okay, obviously I work with Operation Blessing, I work with World Vision, so that's
Yeah.
also a way that I make it a point to serve others, is serve strangers, people that I don't know. And I
Yeah.
think that's why my tagline has evolved from "May the wings of your eyeliner always be even" to "Let's all be a little kinder,"
Right.
because that became the message that I wanted to be remembered for, not how even your eyeliner was, but I wanted to be remembered for somebody who inspired people
Mm-hmm.
to love,
Yeah.
right?
When did you change your taglines?
Oh, when did I change my tagline? Maybe it was like 2019 or
Okay.
2018, something. Yeah.
What was that moment when you were like, "Yeah, I'm changing it"?
Mm,
Was it a while, or did you just have a realization that you wanted to do it?
I think it was me rebranding,
Mm-hmm.
myself. It was, I think I had gone through a rough patch in my life, and I was like reevaluating all of the things that I've done, all of the things that I've sacrificed, all of the things that I want to do in my life. And because I have tried so many things at, as you mentioned, a young age, I could easily choose, okay, what do I want to keep?
Mm-hmm.
um and so, yeah, part of that was the makeup thing, part of that was the fashion thing. And as I was reevaluating that, my whole branding came under the microscope.
Right.
And I thought, why do I even say this? Like, first, I don't even wear winged eyeliner. I mean, I do now, but like then I never wore winged
Right.
eyeliner. So what is even the
Mm-hmm.
point? And then, yeah, I think it came to that point where it's like, what, Janina, what do you want to be remembered for?
Mm-hmm. What would you consider your toughest season so far?
Oh, my toughest season, easily. Oh, no. No. I was going to say easily, but it was like, no.
There's another one.
Mm,
There's a contender.
there are many.
Okay.
How do I choose the toughest season? Honestly, I feel like my toughest season was this year.
Oh, okay. Why?
Yeah. Well, earlier this year, I think the hashtag pandemic effect, the real pandemic
Yeah.
effect. No, there was a lot of mental health struggles there. There was a lot of conflict with me and my relationship with God that I felt like I hadn't dealt with so many wounds that I had experienced in my career and even in
Mm-hmm.
my personal life. I had run away from them, run from them, and to a new opportunity, or
Uh-huh.
found the silver lining in everything. Like, okay, I was bullied. Now I can minister to those who are bullied. Wonderful story.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
then I never processed it, you
Right.
know?
No,
Okay,
completely.
I was canceled. Let's post 3 political videos after that. I never processed being
Yeah.
canceled. I never processed the depression that came after it. And so all of those came just, tumbling down on me early January. And honestly, until like a month, 2 months ago, I had still been feeling the after effects of that. And that was the longest time that I had been stuck or in a rut.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so now it's just one step at a time, taking it slow. We're still
You're
alive.
still alive. You're still going through.
Yeah.
I'm very curious because I remember that I'm not gonna say the details anymore, but I
Mm.
do remember that time where you were canceled or when people didn't quite
Yeah.
understand what you meant by what you said,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
If that's something that how was that next like 3 months after that?
Well, I want to share something.
Go
So
ahead.
I recently was triggered by that trauma as I was going through counseling earlier this year, and my counselor asked me like, "Oh, okay, where were you when you found that you were being canceled, or what happened? Who was there? What did you feel?" And I literally dug into the deepest parts of my soul. I don't remember.
Uh-huh.
Like it was, I don't know. I guess it was that traumatic for my
Yeah.
body and my heart that it just whoop, gone.
Yeah, your brain
Um,
was like, we can't keep this in here.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
no, we're not doing this. We're not
Yeah.
doing this. So I really don't remember. But I remember after that, I just, as when you're backed into the corner, sometimes it's either you stay there taking the punches or you punch your way out. And I
Mm-hmm.
feel like I did the latter. And yun nga, I posted 3 political videos after that. Uh, I did a research video on the water shortage. I posted who my senatorial candidates were.
Yeah.
I started, I volunteered for Vico Sotto's campaign
Right.
and made a video about that. And it just, you know, it was just, yeah, that's it.
Was that you trying to compensate for what happened or not necessarily?
I, I, I realize now it was,
Okay.
and obviously my intentions were still very genuine, but as I dug deep and understood that time in my life, I had realized that it was kind of me trying to prove myself to maybe
Mm-hmm.
others, to myself
Yeah.
also, try to, in a way, yeah, bounce back, try to compensate for what had happened because I didn't want to stay in what had happened. So I made new happenings
Right.
that proved to myself that I wasn't that girl who, deserved to be canceled, but I'm this, I'm that, I'm this. Yeah.
So this year has been the toughest season for you so far. And I feel like a lot of people are also going through that. A lot of people are saying that this is the year or maybe last year, but like you know what I mean, the last 2 years have been kind of the toughest parts of life. What has been the tough just for you personally? What's been the toughest change in your life since the pandemic started?
What was the hardest change? Dude, I don't know.
Okay,
I
fair.
don't know. I mean, not saying that nothing is difficult,
Yeah, of course,
but
of course.
I feel like every day you realize how much more, like, it gets more difficult every day. But I don't think there's like one thing that sticks out.
Okay, let's shift it because like there's a lot of really bad things, of course, that's happened. What's the most hassle inconvenience? So like we're going shallow.
Okay.
Like for you, what's the most
Okay,
hassle
a really
inconvenience?
shallow
Yeah, just a really shallow one.
college.
Oh, okay.
I was supposed
Okay.
to be well, no, I am, or no, I'm an incoming sophomore in Ateneo, and I was supposed to, the campus was one of the selling points,
Of
dude. Like, I'm
course.
sorry, I'm talking to a green archer
I
here,
mean,
but
yeah,
I
sell forever, but like I understand.
like you drive to Katipunan and you're like, oh my gosh, like beautiful, amazing, and literally, it did not feel like school.
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's the hardest. Because see, the thing is, it's not a change because I never had regular school.
Oh, that's
It was just a
right.
hard struggle in general. Like literally, yung sinasabi ko sa mga tao, parang hindi siya school. It's just daily struggle. That's literally
Oh my
what it feels
God.
like. Because I
Okay.
have no friends. I mean, I have blockmates who are so nice to me,
Yeah.
right? But relationship connection,
It's not the
even
same.
just learning, getting yourself out of bed to learn,
Mm-hmm.
comprehending what's happening in the Zoom class. Like it's not a change, but it's definitely one of the toughest struggles I have. Like I've cried
Yeah.
about it so many times.
I'm
School is
sure.
hard, man. Online
I'm
school is
sure.
hard.
Like
Yeah.
I'm genuinely, and I'm not saying this to make other people feel bad, but like genuinely, there are days where I'm just like, thank God I'm not in school anymore. Like I think that. I see because
Yeah.
my brother's still in school, and I see him. He's just there on his laptop, and I'm like, thank God I'm not doing that because I
Yeah,
don't think
dude,
I
you're
could do
you're
that.
lucky.
I don't think I could
Yeah.
do that. Like literally, that seems horrible to me. Like, and I'm just
It
like,
really is.
and I remember like my first year in college. Like, so I'm imagining you, right? I remember my first year in college, and I think about it, and there's so many memories attached,
Yeah.
and I don't think there's
I I
memories.
literally have
Yeah,
zero memories.
exactly.
Like my
And
main memory is what a back and forth with my prof. Like, that's as spicy as my semester got.
yeah, because like even for us, it's like you know what I mean, like the classroom drama or um the teacher walks out of the classroom. You know what I mean? Just stuff like that
Yeah.
where it's like, oh my gosh, or like you're having lunch with a friend that becomes your best friend. Stuff like that. Like those are just things that you remember, and like I
Yeah.
can't imagine what it's like being
Yeah.
in online school, especially for college, like for first year
Online
college.
was, yeah. Dude, like I love political science, but just reading and just watching in a governance class
Yeah.
is sheesh.
Sheesh.
No.
Okay, so a few years ago, you and I were talking, and this is before you went to college. So I remember we were talking
Okay.
about it, and then you mentioned you like there were some courses that you wanted to take, and then I was like, take political science because I love that course.
Yeah.
That's my
Yeah.
course. I'm De La Salle, but that's my course.
Yeah.
I had so much fun with it, and you seemed like you really were interested in it, but not sure, right? And then a few months, like a couple months ago, I heard that you were in Pol Sci, and I was so happy. I was like, yes,
Yeah.
let's go, let's do this. So why Pol Sci?
I read this book. It's one of my favorite books, and it sounds very like, wow, Janina, but it's called Dictator's Handbook.
Oh, I know that.
I don't know if no, I think we've talked about it before.
I've never
but
read it fully, but I know of it.
yeah, it's freaking wild, man. Like Marcos is there.
Yeah.
And Imelda's there with all of her shoes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We literally made the Dictator's Handbook, guys. But I was reading that book, and it kind of enlightened me to realize that politics is really a game that leaders play. And for a very idealistic 18, 19-year-old, it was like, what? What do you mean? Like, these are people's lives. These are what I believe to be public servants. What do you mean it's just a game that leaders play? And obviously, I started reading, everything.
Yeah.
As many books and on governance and politics that I could get my hands on. And I realized that, okay, if politics is a game that leaders play, I need to learn the rules so that one day the people can win. And that was it. I was like, I'm going to learn the rules. Let's go to college. Come on, Pol Sci.
Let's go to college, Pol Sci. What's been your favorite course so far?
Oh, definitely Philippine politics.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
What about
Well, because I'm only a
intrigues you
freshman, so I don't have that many
Right.
majors yet. But that, like the first one, because I was theory. I was like, bro, I don't
most?
don't even ask me
old dead white
anything.
guys and what they thought about the
Exactly.
world. Yep.
Yeah. I was like, don't even ask me what I learned because I don't even remember.
Okay.
But I took that was my last Pol Sci class, and my prof was amazing. Like he was so great. The way that he would tell stories and the way that he would go through the curriculum like they were, I mean, they are stories because they really happened. But
Yeah.
I think that I would cry almost every class because I saw first the potential of the Philippines, the potential of the Filipino, and how, in our current reality, that Filipinos deserve more. And I think even if I wasn't, my brother's cum laude, right? And
Oh, I
Ryan's
didn't know that.
valedictorian.
Oh.
And yeah, very smart brothers.
You mean
And I'm the
the guy that
creative.
I had twice on the podcast?
Yes,
That
the
guy?
guy you had twice. Yes.
Yes. Okay, go
But
on.
yeah, and coming like not after the issues because Ryan's younger than me, but I always pegged myself not Like I wasn't the smart one. I was the creative one. I
Okay.
was the colorful
Yeah.
one. It's not really very easy for me to comprehend as much as it is for everybody else in that class who had been, dreaming of being a lawyer since they were a kid. But I think it was really that it was okay. I need to learn the rules. Like I need to be able to make myself as competent as possible, to be as well informed and as able as possible, so that I could serve my people the best way that I can in whatever platform I land on.
Mm-hmm.
And so even if it's difficult for me to learn all of those things, I think it's really the end goal that I just have in my mind so clear.
I'm gonna ask you more about that because I'm really curious. But for now, we're gonna take a quick break. So this is the part of podcasts that people usually have an ad, but we don't have ads yet. So go check us out on Instagram and Facebook. That is at White Stripe PH on Instagram and White Stripe Podcast on Facebook. Go check us out. And if you are listening on Spotify, hit follow. If you're listening on YouTube, please hit subscribe. Again, hit subscribe, hit follow, Spotify, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. And follow me on Twitter at Remulla. All right, we're back with Janina. And earlier you were talking about learning more about the rules. You know what I mean? Like getting into it. What have you learned the most so far? Or what stuck with you regarding those rules?
What stuck with me? I'm thinking because anything that I say is like a deep, deep rabbit hole, no? Well, okay. The last thing, no. Well, actually, technically, the last thing I wrote was about the parliamentary system, but let's not talk about that.
That's for another day. That's
for another
that's
day.
fine.
The other last thing that I wrote was about and I told you that I wanted to talk about this now, was about our electoral system.
Yes.
And this is something that I was completely unaware of because I was like, oh, we're in a democratic nation. We have freedom of speech. We have freedom to choose to vote who we vote for and stuff like that. And, that's all I really knew about politics and voter education and registration and whatever. But when I really looked at the system and I obviously the class was called comparative politics.
Oh, comparative politics. Super fun.
No, it wasn't. Was it?
Oh.
No, I just started comparing politics. It was just me. Sorry. No. It's just Philippine politics, but I started comparing.
To other countries? Or
To other countries.
Okay.
Yeah. So here's
that,
what I learned.
But that is a class that I took, comparative politics. Go on.
Yeah, I think it's in my second year. Wait lang.
Well, you had a heads up, so.
What?
You have a heads up.
Yeah. So what I learned about that was that in the last how many years of our national elections, we have had about an average of 5 candidates per election. And, that seems normal, right? But then when you think about it, like you look at the states and you see that, when you have the Democratic Party and then, you have the Republicans, you'll see that, okay, there are only basically 2 people going against each other. And then the nation gets split into basically 2.
Yeah.
And you look at the Philippines and you see not 109 million, maybe about 60 million people being split 5 ways.
Right.
And then you think about it, oh my gosh, so this is not a majority system. This is actually a plurality system, right? Yeah. And so then that's something that's a rule that I never understood. Because what would happen is that presidents will not try to win over the entire nation. They will just aim for block voting wherever they're most famous, wherever they're most liked, which obviously you can see from our last. Anyway,
go on.
So in the last 3 presidents, you'll see that people only won by 36%, 34%, 39%. And obviously, if you compare that to satisfaction ratings, that literally makes no sense because you'll see that 60+% did not want that person on,
Yeah.
on in Malacanang, and you suddenly see 98% of the Philippines like
Like, woo,
that person.
let's go.
Something's wrong
Surveys, let's
here.
go. Woo.
Yes,
Yeah.
woo, guys.
Yeah.
Statistics in the Philippines is special. Um, and so that's something that I wasn't, aware of. And I think comparing that to, let's say, France, right? One of the things that they did was they had like 20 people.
Mhm.
Um, they had 20 candidates, and then what they did a winners runoff where they would go into, winners runoff, and then they would get the top two people who voted, and then have people vote again, and then get the majority of that.
Okay.
And so I realized that system, it kind of sets us up to fail,
Hmm.
because what happens is the person in power doesn't, well, I can't really speak for everybody, but what happens is they might not represent the majority of the Philippines, but they
Yeah.
might only represent,
A good
the people
chunk.
that they like.
Yeah. Like just
Yeah, a
like
good
a
chunk of the
solid
Philippines.
chunk, but not the majority.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but not majority. And so, these are things that people don't talk about, but I feel like we have to think about, because is this
Yeah.
really the best way to get the representative of the Philippines in the Malacanang? Is this really, the best? Because it's right, our government official, our president is, or any government official rather, he or she is a reflection of the people, is what we say. It's,
Hmm.
because he comes from the people, because he was voted by the people, then this is kind of who the Philippines is. But then
Yeah.
when you look at, no, this is only who, 36% of the
Right.
Philippines is. And so I feel like that's a rule that we need to look at again.
And I find that really interesting because when you look at the people, let's say the five, right? Like there are five people who end up on the panels and on the debates and all that stuff. They have the machinery behind them. You know what I mean? They have the support. They have the name. They have all of this already there, and a lot of that is inherited. And I'm not saying that people don't work hard to be elected. Sure, they work hard for it, but if you think, well, if you think that because we live in a democracy that it's an even playing field, it's really not. And you know that. You know what I mean? Like where
Yeah.
somebody random, even if in theory democracy is supposed to make anybody be able to lead or anybody be able to be in contention, we know that the reality of our system, or even most systems around the world, is that you need that machinery behind you, whether you
Yeah.
like it or not. And I don't have an answer for that. But what do you think about everything I just said?
Yeah, I mean, it's big, like bandwagon theory, where you just, and I think you can see that now. And not to defend what I said in that video that I got canceled, but you'll see that it's very strategic. The way, you slip in to speeches, this person slips into saunas and little and press
Mm-hmm.
releases of names, of tearing down people's names, or even just simply lifting up somebody, where you'll see that because there is idolatry in our politics, that the idolatry actually gets passed on to other people, and then it doesn't, and to add on to that, it becomes a discussion of personality politics, right?
Yeah.
So beside the bandwagon theory, beside just hopping over, of just following whoever that person is vying for, not vying for, whoever that person is
Yeah.
supporting. There's also that of personality politics, where it's, okay, who do I see most often on TV,
Yeah.
right? Who do I see most often in the posters? Who
What
is
names do I
tweeting the
know?
most right
Yeah.
now? Yeah, what names do I know? Okay na yan. And then
Yeah.
you put it, yeah,
Yeah.
you put it in the thing. And, even that, I feel like, is, you look at the rules in how, you look at the system, where suddenly these people who took how many years in school, majority don't even get, unfortunately they don't even get a higher education, but
Mm-hmm.
you take that many years in school, that after, when you come out maybe 18 years old, you're here to vote for the next leader of our nation,
Yeah.
and you literally don't know how.
Yeah. No, you're right.
You're like,
You're right.
I was not taught how to choose who to vote for. I don't know anybody who has that class in their school, unless you're a political science student,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
But or you're taking some other course like that. But we're never taught this, we're never taught how to discern real character. We're never taught to discern what real service looks like, how we should, how the Philippines should be led, what are we actually capable of. Because a lot of my life I thought that it was us because we're just, what is it, the sick man of Asia.
Yeah.
And then I grew up and I looked and I saw talented, skilled,
Yeah.
intelligent
Yeah.
people. And I'm like, how are we the sick man of Asia when I literally know, the best people who are just not getting the funding, the support, the platform, the job opportunity that they deserve. I don't know where I'm going with this. I don't know what's
No,
happening
I know
right
what you mean.
now.
No, I know what you mean. Because when you think about, I learned, I would say, 95% of what I know about politics is college.
Yeah.
So if I never took pol sci, that will leave me with the 5%. And then whatever I
Yeah.
learned on the way, like on social media, which is probably like another 5%. So that leaves me with like 10% of the knowledge I have today. And it's hard because even as somebody who graduated in pol sci, I still have my reservations when it comes to things. You know what I mean? It's like I still have my questions and I still don't know how the world works and I don't have the answers. And I realized that when I went out of pol sci, I had more questions than I had answers. But I was like, no, but like I enjoyed that also so much. But at the same time, you're like, how do you change the world? How do you do all that stuff, right? And then there are days of me where I'm just like, no, this world can't be changed. It's set in its ways. Like, you know what I mean? It's very,
Yeah.
very pessimistic, or like, the machine can't be taken down, or any of that stuff. And then you just learn to kind of live it day by day. And like, at least for me, I had to recognize the privilege that I had growing up that not a lot of people do have. So it's how do you use that platform or that voice or that ability that others don't have for the people who don't have it yet, or people who can't grasp it yet, right? So when did you realize that your platform changed into almost a politics channel? It's not a politics channel, but like, when did
Yeah.
you realize that you wanted it to become that, a service in that sense?
Yeah. Just like you, I was born into a position of privilege. And I lived in a bubble for many, many
Yep.
years, maybe 18 years of my life. And I think it was the water shortage that was my rude awakening.
Mm-hmm.
That once it hit my house, and I actually, a vital part of life, a
Yeah.
right was taken away.
Yeah.
Oh, naman Janina, see, you see how privileged I was.
Uh-huh.
But when that was taken away for like a month, there were fire trucks in our village. We had to
Right.
bring buckets and stuff. I was frustrated because obviously I couldn't take a bath.
Yeah.
Because I
And
couldn't
I
take a bath. I
love
couldn't take a shower.
showering. Like, that's so
Yeah, and I love
refreshing.
showering.
Every day. Yeah.
Yeah, and this sounds so obnoxious, and honestly, it was. But then I started researching because I was like, why can't I take a shower right now? Like,
Yeah.
I need to wash my hair. And as I was researching, first I realized, oh my gosh, all of the PDFs of all the policies in the court cases and the transcriptions are all
so
online.
hard. It's so
No,
hard.
it's hard, but it's all online.
No, but
like,
yeah, it is
you
all
just search-
online. You are right about that.
Yeah, like you search Manila water PDF, parang ganon,
Yeah,
and then
okay,
you
okay.
find it, and then I was like, "What? This is so easy!" And then so I started reading all of these things, and I realized, a lot about the Shermaja mountain ranges and the deal with China and what this ambassador had said about whatever. And I realized that it was a lot deeper than what the media was showing us. It was a lot deeper than what the government was telling us. That I saw reality, I saw the truth, and I felt like that truth needed to be shared. Because again, I had been living like everything was fine, and there's so much more going on than what meets the eye, and everything is political. Again, rude awakening. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
everything was political. And then I posted my first video doing an in-depth discussion about the water shortage, and then I kind of just kept going from there.
I feel like that's a really, really good example of when it hits you and you just change your life. Because that sounds so
Yeah.
simple. It's water. It's water to shower, not water to drink, but water
Yeah.
to shower with. And if that, because like my area wasn't as affected as your area, but I would imagine that if that happened to me, I would hate that
Yeah.
like so much. And then you realize after a while that okay, there's a lot of people who don't live with running water. There's a lot of people who have other problems deeper than mine.
Yes. Oh my gosh, exactly. And so this was so embarrassing for me because I had told this rude awakening, this story, many, many times in different talks. And as I was talking about this water shortage thing, somebody commented, ha ha ha, hindi alam ni Janina na parang ganito lagi sa province namin.
Okay.
And that crushed me, not because of myself, but then I guess in that way also, that how ignorant you are,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
you are here preaching about thinking that you're such a great person, that you had this awakening because you didn't have water for a month, where these people literally don't have water,
Yeah.
period. And so realizing that it was very, very humbling,
Yeah.
and all the more solidified the fact that my platform is not for me. And I guess it never was for me.
Yeah.
And God is just so gracious that He blesses me through it. But I always, I don't know. Yeah, it's just that realization that, I can't be selfish when I'm doing this.
What was my big revelation? I had a similar experience. Not necessarily that, but there was a class that I did where we had to do an in-depth study of our barangay. So
Okay.
everything about your barangay, like you had to make a whole profile. How big is it? How many people live in it? What electricity goes where? Who has running water? Who has a functioning toilet? I realized that there are people 2 kilometers away from me that don't have functioning bathrooms, functioning toilets.
Wow. Wow.
Like literally, it was like a big map, right? And then there's like a small area, and it was all clumped up together. Like all these houses don't have functioning something, and which should be there, right? When I realized that, then I was like, okay, you know what I mean? There's so many things that I don't know, and there's so many
Yeah.
things that I will always I will always continue to learn along the way. And there will be days where I'm wrong. There will be days where hopefully I'm speaking the truth.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's caring for people. It's trying to do your best when it comes to that. So for you, other than your videos, other than your talks and your public appearances, can you speak a bit about these organizations that you work with, the people that you partner up with, when it comes to you wanting to create change beyond videos?
Yeah. One of the things that I do with Operation Blessing is psychosocial therapy with the children that experience disasters. And I haven't done it in a while, obviously, because of the pandemic, and I'm not allowed to go outside and they don't allow me to go. But, for me, as as obviously donations were coming in and we were raising funds and we were giving backs, I felt like investing into the next generation was also very, very important for me, in terms of service. That like that time where you can see, I'm very, very passionate about character formation and
Okay.
character building.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that got me into Pulsai also. It was my love for, well, or my hate of the educational system in the Philippines.
Okay.
And
Okay.
it
Fair.
was, for me, it was studying the educational system of Japan, because I was like, wait a second, like they literally would behead people who were tired while walking in the Bataan Death March.
Yeah.
Like, why are you like the nicest people?
Yeah.
When I go there, they're like, arigato gozaimasu, like
Exactly.
stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
And I'm like, how? What
With a dark
happened?
history.
And with a dark history,
Yeah.
exactly. And what I saw was that they really, parang for the first 7 years of their life, their curriculum focused on character building and character formation. Like they really had to do, they really made a policy. They really transformed their educational system to surround morals and moral
Okay.
standards and
Yeah.
kindness and service. And I felt like that idea of character of morals needs to be injected into our system as well, into the next generation, more than just math, more than just science, more than just whatever subject that is. And so for me, getting to talk to children, getting to sing Bible songs, getting able to encourage them, being able to just connect with them and share more than just tangible goods,
Yeah.
but actual good,
Hmm.
I felt like will last a lot longer.
Yeah.
And obviously, this is alongside giving actual
Yeah, yeah,
goods
yeah,
and
yeah,
giving
yeah.
money
Okay,
and
okay, yeah, yeah, yeah,
um,
yeah.
but
Service, all that
I
stuff.
felt like that was important to me, and my way to serve my nation.
All right, I'm gonna be asking you about the last election for a little bit. Right after this quick break. If you need any equipment for your podcast or for your live stream, do check out Wavecast Equipment PH on Facebook or at Wavecast PH on Instagram, WAVECAST PH. If you use the code word STRIPE, you get 5% off for your first purchase. Anything, go for it. So message them, DM them, Wavecast Equipment PH on Facebook and at Wavecast PH on Instagram for podcast and live streaming equipment. So go check that out. Okay. I want to ask you a few things. How did you get into Vico Sotto's campaign?
Dude, that was like we just messaged him.
Really?
I was like,
you
hey.
did you know him prior?
Oh yeah, we knew him prior
Okay,
because he
okay.
grew up in kids' church in Victory, and
Yeah.
my dad was a kids pastor for many years. His mom was my Lola's best friend.
Okay.
And so we're not close or anything, but
Yeah.
then we did have that prior connection, and so yeah, I just Oh, and his sister pala is my ninang. I forgot to mention
Oh.
that. Most important. So I messaged
just a
her.
little, just a little
Yeah,
detail.
sorry about that. So so we messaged her and we were like, we would love to help. How can we help? So we literally met with them in Pancake House in Estancia. He was there for like 15 minutes. And I said, I don't know what you need from me, but I'm here. And that was and then I became the official photographer, videographer, the only
Wow.
photographer, videographer.
Right.
And that's not in any way putting myself on a pedestal, but that is literally saying how simple this man is. He literally, if I did not approach him, I don't know what he would do. Like he was not thinking about the campaigning.
Yeah, the camera
in any way.
and all
like
that
he
stuff.
hated he did not like posters with his face on it. He didn't want to give out brochures or t-shirts. He didn't want t-shirt guns or anything. Like whenever I would give him like a photo or a video, he barely ever used it. I was like, what? And so like I ended up having to give them to the press na lang and whatever.
Right,
So
right.
if you see any photos of him during his caucuses or his campaigns, Janina Vela.
What was that experience like? Because, like this is what's it like to support a candidate that you genuinely believe in, that you're just so like you're bought in? I have no idea what that's like.
I know. I feel like a lot of people also have no idea.
Like
that
because
feels like.
today I look at our local elections, our national elections. Nobody has won me over.
Yeah.
So like, what's it like to support somebody and then to see them doing well in what they're supposed to do?
Yeah, so what we would do is he was the first mayor in a long time to do house-to-house visits in Pasig. Like obviously we were being ruled over for 27 years by a family
And I
whose
worked at
initial
Pasig
you
for a
can
while.
see.
In Pasig City
Yeah,
Hall.
yeah,
So
oo
I'm
nga
familiar.
pala, yeah.
I'm familiar, yeah.
Right? And so you can still see their initials here.
Vico wasn't there yet. He wasn't. It was the 2 years before Vico or a year before Vico. Anyways, go on.
Before he was mayor?
Yeah.
Oh, so he was a councilor na.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. What's that? 6th floor or something like that. Where were you working?
Regional Trial Court.
Oh, that's fun.
Yes.
Anyway, what were we talking about? Yes. It was, so we would do house-to-house visits and we would, go to caucuses, which would be him literally just talking to the barangay, giving his speech and stuff like that. And that well, there were times, we'd be in Escanitas and then like in the inners of Pasig.
Mm-hmm.
But then to him, that was never, he was just, no, I'm going to talk to my people.
Right.
I'm going to, tell them what I'm planning to do. I'm going to tell them, that they deserve more, they deserve better.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what was his tagline again?
I'm not sure.
What was it? Something bago something. I forgot what it was.
Okay.
Wait, let's search. I'm
You're allowed to
confused now.
Google.
Thank you. Vico Sotto campaign. Search here. Iba naman. That it
Oh,
is.
yeah. You know what? When I heard that, after like knowing the context, I was like, ooh, straight
Yeah.
up. Yeah, go on.
Iba naman. And seeing that, oh wow, I love that tagline. I remember it was so inspiring because it was really a different way to do politics. I looked at him and I was like, wow, this is not a game to him.
Yeah.
This is he was really there to serve the people, and his words, you could feel them every single time that he really meant what he said. And you'd see him, and then I ended up interning him for him in the mayor's office, and
Mm-hmm.
he really lived up to every single thing that he said, that he would be there. Like the first thing, so I sat in one of the meetings on my first day, and the issue was that a lot of Pasigueños could not pay for, parang, was it their rent or something? They could not pay for these fees.
Okay.
And so these fees, because they could not pay, there was an added percentage that they had to pay because they could not
Oh,
pay
penalties,
for that.
basically.
There were, yeah. And
Yeah.
then every month, more penalties will be added, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, and so the problem according to the people were, oh, they cannot pay their fees.
Yeah.
And he's like, then let's take them out. And that's when he was like, oh, sige, tanggalin na lang natin yung compounded fees and let's
Yeah.
just give a standard rate.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this man really
Like, whoa.
yun talaga yung, that is the only outlier that I've ever seen who cares more about the lives of the Filipinos more than the filling of his wallet, you know?
Yeah.
And that for me was, may pag-asa pa rin. It's just,
I was just like, oh,
And-
a logical answer to a situation?
yeah, right?
Whoa, right?
Whoa, what the heck? He's actually doing the right thing.
No, it's
Yeah.
funny because, I mean, of course, nobody's perfect, right? And there's probably something in there that I'm not sure about that I don't 100% agree with. And I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
But when I look at somebody like him, I'm just like, oh, okay, there's hope. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, because never in my life did I think that there would be somebody like a Vico Sotto in power. You know what I mean? And this isn't a podcast just to praise him, but like, you know what I mean? It's just somebody that you can look up to and say, okay, there's a man of character. There's somebody of
Yeah.
character. So that means that other people can also do it. Is that how you feel also with it?
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things that I tell somebody. I get questions a lot on how I choose who I'm going to vote for.
Yeah.
And I always, one of the little criteria that I have that I've never even fully been, I've never found the perfect answer to, but something that I will say is, okay, if they are going to be put on a pedestal, would you want your children to look up to that
Yeah.
person? Right? And so if, vice president, counselor, if your son, your daughter saw this person and they were like, Mom, I want to be like him when I grow up, would you be happy? Or would you be like, wag anak, wag?
Yeah.
And I feel like that, in a sense, is my answer. Like that's an absolute yes for Mr. Soto. This has become a Vico Soto podcast.
So do you have hope in the Philippines for the future?
Yes.
Why?
Why? Well, because I feel like soon trapo politics, traditional politics, will come to an end. And this is very idealistic of me, okay? But it's because I feel like COVID-19 has been the breeding ground for the slow awakening of the Philippines. because I was having this conversation with my mom a while ago. It was, sometimes boomers can stay within their mindset
Yeah.
because what they heard then was the truth. Like
Right.
that
Right.
was
Yeah.
their
Yeah. Yeah.
truth. Whatever, like, okay, I heard this. Oh, must be true. We'll take it.
Yeah.
But now it's a lot different because the horizon is so much wider than it has ever been. You
Mhm.
hear different sides, different perspectives, different,
Yeah.
even news outlets. And it's so easily accessible
Yeah.
that people, like, dumadilat talaga yung mga mata ng mga tao.
Mhm.
And I feel like that, as the new generation is rising, plus, not just the new generation of voters, but a new generation of Vico Sotos, a new generation of politicians is
Mhm.
rising as well. I feel like there is hope. And, for example, in these coming elections in 2022.
Mhm.
So supposedly there are 72 to 73 million people who are eligible to vote. But,
Uh-huh.
Comelec is saying realistically will only reach about 62 to 63
Mhm.
million. However, the number of youth, like of Gen Z and millennial voters, does not change, which stays at 40 million.
Okay.
And so if you do the math, if you look at, okay, 63 million versus 40 million
Right.
young voters, you'll see that's what, 60+%.
Mhm.
That's definitely majority. That's not just
Yeah.
plurality, right? That's
Yeah.
definitely
Yeah. Yeah.
majority. Where these kids, this generation who is awake, who is watching, who is aware, who is learning, who is evolving, who is learning from the past mistakes, right? Who's
Yeah.
remembering the past and choosing not to repeat it. These are the voters of tomorrow. These are the voters of next year.
Right.
And these are, these are the people who are also going to be on that pedestal, on that
Yeah.
platform. So I do believe that there's hope for the Philippines, not giving up on the current generation, right? But
Right.
looking at my generation, because that's all I can speak for and from,
Mhm.
I do believe that there is hope.
It's funny because there's what I mentioned before. After you take a course like pol sci, or you know what I mean, like a liberal arts course, usually
Yeah.
you end up outside of it like, oh, the world's broken, and you know what I mean, like
Yeah.
like like these are the rules you have to live in, all that stuff. But it's crazy how few individuals can really change a lot. It's crazy how one person or a group of people can really shift a mindset. And yeah, I think we're in a good space because I mean, let's be honest, we're in that age where we're gonna become the current generation in like a decade. You know what I mean? It's not,
Oh my gosh.
and it's true. Like we're not very next gen anymore. Yeah, yeah. I mean, yes,
Yeah.
we're still young. You're still studying, but we're not very next gen
Yeah.
quite as much as we used to be. But so, what do you hope to see in 10 years?
What do I hope to see? I think this is something that I also speak a lot about because I do want better leaders for our nation. Like I yearn for it. I'm fighting for it. But as we yearn for better leaders, let's also be a better people, is what I always say. And so my goal and my dream for the next 10 years of the Philippines isn't just for righteous people to be in Malacanang or righteous people to be in City Hall,
Mm-hmm.
but it would be for righteous people to be just in the Philippines,
Yeah.
for our our citizens, for our whatever jeepney drivers, teachers, students, whatever, anybody, and when we were in Manila Bay a few months ago,
Which part?
beside the bay, we were there and there were trash cans everywhere. And we were like, wow, okay, Yorme, I see you. I don't agree with everything, but I see this. Like, wow, trash cans, good
Yeah,
job.
yeah, yeah.
And then you see Filipinos throwing their trash straight into the bay,
Mm-hmm.
even if their trash cans a few meters away.
Yeah.
And so that's why my dream is not only like exclusive to our leaders, but
Yeah.
my dream actually is kind of, it encompasses all of us, because again, we are the reflection of our next leader.
Yes.
Where they represent us, who we are. So then you ask, who am I? Am I a person who will walk to the trash can? Am I a person who will cheat on my test?
Yeah.
Am I a person who will, beat the red light, or jaywalk in a place that's not a pedestrian lane?
Yeah.
Like these things also, because you think about the attributes that you want to see in the next leader. You think of competence, you think of integrity, you think
Yeah.
of kindness, of whatever, intelligence. These are universal attributes.
Yeah.
These are not just attributes that we need in a politician. These are attributes
True.
that I aspire to have. Like,
Yes.
I want to be competent. That's why I'm in school, right? And I want to be kind, because there are days where I'm just very unkind. And I'm a work in progress, okay?
Of course. Of
But,
course.
part of my dream in the next 10 years is I'm part of that dream.
Yeah.
Like, Janina, be a better citizen of the Philippines, Don't curse our nation.
Yeah.
Speak life
Oh,
to
that's
it,
hard. But okay, great. Great point. Great point.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, cursing our nation does nothing, nothing good. Nothing good comes out of cursing our nation. It's not good for you, your heart, your well-being, because there's just bitterness growing inside of you, resentment. There's only anger, and obviously to our nation who gets the brunt of it. And I'm not saying don't be angry. I'm angry. I trust me. Look at my Twitter. I hold my leaders accountable,
Yes.
right? But let's not curse our Philippines. Anyway,
Go on.
what am I saying? Yeah, I'm saying let's be a better people also. And I think that even that is not direct influence, but collectively, that's something that can spark change, or that is the change actually that we need. Because our politicians are not, they don't stick out like a sore thumb from the moment they're born. They're
Yeah.
one of us, and then they
Yeah.
decide to take that job. And so you look at the classroom of children, one of them could be the next president, right?
That's
One
true.
of them could be the next mayor. And so that's why, again, going back to my dream, character formation, character
Yeah.
education. We need to teach our kids, they need to teach our teenagers, our students to be good people more than just smart people. Because if you look at politicians, how do you what do you call that, where does the dichotomy come from?
Right.
Does it come from their education? Does it come from how they dress? No, you see it from their character, how well they communicate. You see it from their heart. Oh my gosh, that is a good politician compared to whoever you see. And so that's for me the importance of character in everyone, not just the people in Malacanang.
Yeah. Speaking of character, how would you want people to describe you and your character and your work in 10 years?
Oh man, I really don't like all about myself. Well, okay, in 10 years, let's just go with my work, right?
Okay.
I hope that in my work, people are not praising me. I hope that I do something, so big that it's big because of the impact it makes on our nation, not because Janina Vela did it.
Okay.
And I feel like, not that I don't want to be remembered, but if you looked at my LinkedIn, if you looked at my LinkedIn 10 years from now, the things that I have done, they're confirmations of all of the promises that I've made in all of my talks,
Okay.
that I have served to the best of my ability, that I actually grew in competence, not grew in competence,
Yes.
grew in competence. I actually, did tangible efforts to change what I complain about all the time. I don't know. I hope that, now I believe people describe me as driven, determined, passionate. And I hope in 10 years, that drive, that determination, and that passion, doesn't go to waste. Yeah.
it's funny because there's just so much things that like, there's a certain perspective I think that you have that not a lot of people do because you've or maybe it's just me because I maybe because I'm a 3 but like the fact that you don't want to be recognized, the fact that it doesn't necessarily matter as much to you to be recognized. Where does that heart come from?
It comes from a point in my life where I wanted to be recognized.
I see. I see.
It comes from watching my numbers deplete as I talk about politics.
Yeah.
It talks about seeing unsubscriptions because I said something that people don't agree with, or it comes from changing my content and nobody watching it. And I think I have come a very long way, and my mom will tell you this because I would cry about it all the time. I feel like I've come a long way from wanting admiration for myself and I guess seeing that what I'm doing goes beyond Janina Vela. And I realized that maybe makeup tutorials and my songs and all of those things, they're all attributed to me, but I feel like the empowerment for our nation, the inspiration for personal life, that almost has nothing to do with me. I'm really just a vessel here. And I feel like if anybody's going to remember anything from watching my videos, I really hope it's not hey Janina Vela here. I really hope that's not their take home. That it's like, oh yeah, I remember her. Yeah, hey. Sayang.
Where did that come from?
Dude, I don't even know.
Okay.
I was just like, oh, I need some tagline for people to remember me. And I think I said it briefly, like for a week, like right before I became a YouTuber. I started messaging friends with it, like, hey. And then I just dropped it the moment I said it on YouTube. I was like, ew.
But
I'm never saying this.
But people do say, I mean, like, okay, the decade-ish that I've known who you are, and like the half decade that you've been doing YouTube, even when we weren't friends, like people would remember you as hey during the time.
Yeah.
Does that upset you?
No, I mean, of course, it doesn't upset me. I just hope that's not the only thing they remember me for, right?
Okay.
But the hey, it's still funny. I mean, obviously, I roll my eyes for fun for the gimmick, but it's nice. Wow, my marketing strategy worked.
It worked.
See, communications was also my thought course.
Was it?
Huh? Yeah, it was. Well, it was my third choice.
Oh.
It was pol sci, it was psych, and then communications.
Okay, you know what? It's interesting because like there's so many things that I could talk about with you. And I did mention to you that there's so many things, but we're gonna save some for the next time you come back.
Yes, wow.
The next time,
I'm reaching that 2-episode quota.
Oh yeah, of course. Duh. And fun fact: this is gonna be episode 50.
Oh wow!
So you're gonna have 50. That's gonna be yours.
Oh yeah! Wow. See, I'm special. See, I knew it. Kaya pala.
Yeah.
Kaya pala you only asked me now. Kaya pala I
Well,
forced myself into the podcast.
At the time of the recording, we're in 47, but like, yeah, you're gonna have 50.
Yes. Let's go, guys.
All right, so we're gonna go through a few quick questions. Are you ready for the speed round?
Yes, Tito boy.
All right.
Oh wait. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Let's go a bit easy. What's on your Spotify right now?
I don't remember. Wait, you said quick questions. I need to check. Okay, well, fine. The first one that comes into mind is the Man Enough podcast. Justin Baldoni and Shawn Mendes.
I've never heard of
really
that.
good. You should listen to it. It's
I should.
Really nice.
What music are you listening to?
Oh, sorry, you meant music.
Well, that's usually the question, but like at least I got a podcast.
I'm sorry. I've been listening. Okay. Okay, it's the merry-go-round of life from Howl's Castle.
Okay, I have no idea who they are, but I will listen. What are you watching?
It's orchestral.
What are you streaming now?
Like Netflix?
Yeah.
I don't watch Netflix. I
You
listen to
don't?
podcasts.
Oh,
Well, not
great.
right now. Yeah.
Oh, that's
I
great.
haven't been. Because my credit card is not working. So I can't pay for Netflix. So I haven't watched Netflix because I don't have Netflix.
Why isn't credit card working?
I don't even know, man. But I think I'm too lazy to get it restarted, so
You
it's
should
fine.
you should have it checked.
Yeah, I should.
That
But it's doing me good right now, right? I mean, I'm
I mean, like
enlightening my
I've
mind.
been through that experience, and it's really easy to like just call them up and say, "Hey, it's not
Oh,
working."
okay, BRB.
Do
Yeah.
you have a favorite book?
Oh my gosh. Okay, maybe start with why Simon Sinek.
Why?
I feel like or Atomic Habits. No, start with why. Or it could also be why nations fail.
Okay, yeah.
I can't decide. Okay, Why Nations Fail was one of the first political books I read, and then Start with Why was one of the last, not really, but like one of the more recent, like business leadership books I've read. So
Yeah.
both of those. Why? Start with Why because I feel like it's a great reminder to remember why you do what you do. And Why Nations Fail is because it's just a really great book.
Yeah.
It's just really good.
Okay. Yeah, that is true. I haven't read the whole thing, but I read not
chunk.
chapters, but like chunks. Yeah. How would you describe this season in your career?
I think it's. Dude, I don't even know what the heck. This season in my career,
Yeah.
not in my personal life. In my
In
career,
your career.
I feel like it's the time of my career that I'm choosing what matters to me the most
Uh-huh.
and prioritizing that.
How about in your life?
I think in my life, well, as I mentioned a while ago, I feel like it's the healthiest point in my life ever because not that I have no problems whatsoever, but I think I've come up with a systematic way to process every emotion that I have, and I'm really yun nga chasing what is worth it and what I value, and yeah, I feel like I'm slowly weeding out my bad habits and coping mechanisms.
What are you gonna do when this call ends?
What am I gonna do? Maybe drink iced tea. No, just kidding. Oh no, what am I gonna? I think I'm gonna hang out with my family. Maybe we'll watch Hell's Kitchen or something.
You guys watch Hell's Kitchen? What season?
Yeah, we're obsessed. Oh well, we watched like 18 to whatever 20, and then we're going back because how do you explain this? One of the head chefs was a contestant before, and so now we're back at
Oh.
season 11 because we're watching. Oh, how was she when she was a contestant? Anyway.
Okay,
yeah.
okay. I did watch Hell's Kitchen during its run. Like when I was young. I remember like just turning
Oh,
on the
really?
TV. Yeah. What intrigues you about that
We
show?
didn't have. Oh, sorry. Yes. What?
You didn't have TV? You didn't have
We
cable?
didn't have cable.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. What intrigues you about that show?
The swearing. No. No, dude, I don't know. It's such a guilty pleasure for me and my family. We get so invested because I think to us, we have, kind of developed a very healthy way of communication
Okay.
where like conflict resolution, it's not easy, but it's quite simple for us where, okay, tell me, you and, but then when you see them in conflict, it's like they're like large toddlers. I'm like, sis, like, why are
Yeah,
you
yeah.
making it more complicated than it is? Just
Right.
apologize. But it's very interesting. I think it's interesting for a very, very Christian family
Yeah.
to see. To see a dysfunctional kitchen.
So is that also your guilty? That's your guilty pleasure, I would assume.
Yeah, that is a guilty pleasure. What else is a guilty pleasure? Shawn Mendes is a guilty pleasure.
I love Sean. Well, I love some of Sean.
Wow,
What's-
close
what's your-
kayo. I love Sean.
What's your favorite song from him?
Right now, I've actually been loving Wonder, which is
Okay.
from his latest album. That's like really nice car, like on a highway vibes, sunset. It's like, wow, I'm free.
Right.
Listen to it.
How would your friends describe your best friends? How would they describe you?
Um, Crackhead. I feel like they would say that I'm like really, what do you call that? Like two sides of a coin. Because with my best friends, we can really have huge crackhead moments, but then we also go deep into social issues. And so I think first is chaotic, and then hopefully they'll say that I have some sort of substance in there. I don't know. I hope. Don't ask them.
I had Cam's a few episodes ago. She told me about your painting experience and that
Oh my gosh!
you initiated that you paint each other. How that
Yes,
how
yes.
where do you come up with an idea like that?
You know, honestly, it's very Enneagram 7. Like it's just I just wanted to do it. Well, because I mean, I don't know what kind of answer you're looking
No, no,
for,
no.
but
Go
I
for
was
it.
just
Go
like,
for it.
I like I've been painting now to wind down, and I think that's why I've not been spending so much time on Netflix, on YouTube,
Okay.
because
And
it's
also because your
more.
credit card's not working.
Yeah, also because my
Yeah.
credit card's on. I really need to get that fixed. But yeah, it's more of painting and podcasts, and wow, sounds like I'm starting a podcast. Hello guys, welcome to painting and podcasts. What was I even talking about? Ah,
Painting.
yes. And I don't know. I've grown accustomed to painting, and I was like, hey, you want to do something different today? Because we usually come. She comes over, we write a song, we cry, and then we go to sleep, right?
Yeah.
I was like, let's paint, And she's
Yeah.
like, okay.
Right.
See, she's as chaotic as me.
Are you proud of the painting?
No, absolutely not. It's horrific. It really did not do her justice whatsoever.
It's funny because when I saw that, I was like, "Yep, I have to ask about this. This is
Yeah,
something."
it horrible, horrible. But it was a very fun bonding experience because
Right.
imagine we were not on gadgets.
Uh-huh.
We were not. It was really mindless.
Oh, that's fun.
And we
Yeah.
need to do more mindless things. We're overstimulated as a population.
Uh-huh.
We're always, absorbing knowledge, absorbing whatever. We just need to silence.
To just
Yeah, silence.
Yep, that's it. That's it. When you started like a short podcast, right?
Yeah.
How's that going for you? How's that experience?
Oh, I forgot about that.
I remember
Oh yeah,
because
I had a
like
podcast.
podcasting is like what I love the
Yeah.
most.
Yeah, I did it with Globe, but I don't know. I think maybe I'm more of a visual person. Or
Okay.
honestly, at that point, I wasn't really a podcaster yet. Like I wouldn't listen to podcasts.
Okay.
And now I do. And so now I kind of understand how podcasts work.
Now you get
like,
it.
oh,
You're like, okay,
now
I
I
like this
get it.
format. I don't like this. Like you have an opinion now.
Yeah, now I am knowledgeable enough to have an opinion.
Yeah, yeah.
Then I was just like, okay, I'm just talking to somebody on a mic, I guess.
Right, right.
Yeah, but it was fun. Yeah, and then I tried Kumu for a bit, which was also different, and now I'm back on Facebook like normal. But yeah, I think I should go back to podcasting.
It's fun.
It is fun.
It's fun.
Yeah, I mean, are you recording audio only or with face?
This is with face.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, good. I look, presentable. I wasn't sure, and I didn't want to like assume like, oh,
No,
whatever.
I record every. Oh no, I don't. Not everything, but like any guest will have a video.
Oh, okay.
So that's your thumbnail right there.
Janina Vela canceled. Oh, I don't know.
Here, her story here.
Yes.
All right. So now that you're into podcasting, you mentioned the one podcast that you love. Anything else you're listening to, other than the White Stripe podcast, of course, and the other podcast,
What podcast did you mention?
the White Stripe one.
Sorry again.
It's really good. It's really good.
I've never heard of it. Sorry.
Well, you invited yourself here, so.
Oh yes, you're right. What else have I been listening to? Dude, I don't know. I just look at whatever is viral.
Okay.
Click it.
Okay.
But lately, I've been listening to a lot of podcasts about masculinity and femininity.
Oh,
Just
interesting.
understanding that as a social construct,
Yeah.
like the verse, the difference between sex and masculinity, femininity. Very
Right.
interesting.
That's an interesting topic.
Yeah, right?
Um, in the shortest way possible, can you explain what the
Oh no.
Enneagram is? This is a tease. This is what you call a
Okay,
tease.
so oh man, what is shortest way? It's so hard. Okay. In the shortest way possible, the Enneagram is a set of personality types that help a person understand their core motivations. So it doesn't only look at behaviors, but it looks
Mm-hmm.
at why you do what you do. Why is this a coping mechanism? Why is this your immediate reaction? And from there, from your current state and your current habits, hopefully with the awareness of the Enneagram and the transformative power of the gospel will kind of propel you step by step into becoming the quote unquote healthiest self.
Yeah. We're going to talk about that the next time you're here. Because like I love that
Yes.
conversation. That's going to be
Yeah.
so much fun. All right, last
Super
few
fun.
questions. Do you have any questions for me? Anything. You're allowed to ask me anything.
Okay. Well, what was the last thing you searched on Google? You said
Okay.
anything.
Okay, like I searched for your name because you're on the show. Like I do
Oh,
that
you
with my guests.
stalker.
I do that with my guests.
What did you find?
I found
Oh my gosh, it's a nene photo,
Janina
isn't it?
Vela, age, school, college, Ateneo, birthday, height, boyfriend, TikTok, all that stuff.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. What else? If you didn't take what's your Totga course? What was this, like decades ago? Do you not remember?
Yeah, it's been
It's been
it's been a
10
whole
long years.
it's been a whole 7 years. Yeah.
Oh wow, I see why you didn't take like a math course.
Yeah. Hey, I was good at math.
I don't doubt that.
Yeah.
I'm just projecting my insecurities on you, honestly.
No. Okay, fun. I was supposed to take entrepreneurship. So I applied for
Bagay. That actually makes so much more sense.
it does, right? No, and like my whole life I wanted to take entrepreneurship. And then my life shifted when I was in third year, fourth year high school. I went to MUN. I went to all that stuff. And then after that, I was like, I want to be
my gosh,
I want to
you
be
were
I want to
Model
be a
UN?
diplomat. Yeah, I went to Hong Kong.
Oh my gosh.
I went to Hong Kong. Like, and I was just like, yeah.
Wow.
I was like, yeah, this is what I want to do. Like, this is this is where I'm gonna be. I'm in the MUN. And then I went to college, and then I had professors who were trying to be diplomats. And then they told me about the whole process, and I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
You have to be
understand.
fluent in like 3-4 languages, all that stuff. And I was like, yeah,
That's fun though.
I can't do it. I can't do it. Anyway, last one.
Is it because you can't do it or you don't want to try because you know that you won't be the best?
Ooh, can you like you're like analyzing my thought process. That might be part of it. That might be part of it. Because I won't be good right away.
Yeah.
So I'd rather just not. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Is that all?
Oh yeah, sorry, it's me pala. What else? What are you going to do with 1 hour and 48 minutes of talking?
What I always do with it. I will
Cut
edit
everything
this.
out.
I will I will edit this. I will pick out what my favorite parts are. I will make that a shorter video and all that stuff.
Oh, what time do you wake up in the morning?
Ooh, that's a good one. Let's see. Pandemic or
Wrong.
pre-pandemic? Pandemic or
See, this is why I'm not a podcaster.
No, but that'll be so
Pandemic. Why are we gonna talk about pre-pandemic? That was
'Cause I
like
was-
2
I was-
years ago, bro.
'cause my health-
What the heck?
I was healthier in terms of sleep then. No,
My guy, we're letting go of pre-pandemic memories. Like, that's not life anymore.
what was I gonna say? Okay, so
Oh, you were healthier
now,
pre-pandemic.
are you talking about now? Now it's like 9. I don't wake up
Oh.
early.
That's pretty good. At least it's not 11.
Well, there are days where it's 11, but like I'm saying 9 because I'm a 3. No,
What time do you sleep then?
no, I
Oh,
sleep late. I
no.
sleep like 1 to 3.
Oh, that's bad.
That is bad. That is bad.
You know what you should do? Are you a reader?
I do love reading. Yes.
You do love reading.
Yeah.
What I do is after I stop working at like 10, like
Uh-huh.
I won't use my gadget anymore. I'll just read a book. And then you know how reading makes you sleepy at night?
Uh-huh.
Then I just let it drift me into sleep. It's smart.
I do a version of that. But my version is read, go back to my laptop, then sleep.
That's a horrible version of that. Like, dude, your melatonin levels are like.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. Not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. All right, you have one last if you have any. If you don't, we can go on.
Mm, mm.
Nice.
I'm like
Great.
looking around.
Great content right there.
And Janina, woman of substance. I don't know. Okay, if you were a traffic sign.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, I know. If you could have a traffic sign that will like right before somebody meets you, what traffic sign would that be?
Wait. If there's a traffic sign right before somebody meets me, so a
Yeah.
stranger
For
about to meet me.
example, yeah, a stranger is going to meet me. I should have the stop sign. They're like going to the stop.
I think I'm a go sign. I think I'm pleasant to be around.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah.
Why? Because you shapeshifted into a pleasant person.
It's just it's who I am.
This is so obnoxious. I'm just dissing you and your Enneagram. Why, huh?
Woo. No, I just think that's how I grew up. I love people. I love meeting people. And every new person for me is like a fresh start, which is fun. Yeah. You don't know my flaws yet, you see, when you meet me at first. Yeah.
Because you hide them. Why is it, Trey? Why do you feel like you have to hide your flaws?
This turned into a therapy session for me.
Yes. When is this coming out?
A couple of weeks.
In a couple of weeks. Yeah, because by that time I'm gonna be a certified Enneagram coach. So guys, check out Enneagram Coach PH
Oh, there you go.
if you wanna be a client. I'm just ragging. Come on, guys. Like I swear I'm actually competent. Okay, like I really took the course.
I don't
But
doubt
it's
that.
okay. Just cut this out.
I don't
Okay.
doubt that. I don't doubt that at all. Anyway, so any last words? Anything you want to say to the people who have supported you, or even the people who don't really agree with you? Anything you want to say? Last words. I know, like it's a lot.
Why would I address the people who don't agree with me?
I don't know.
Oh, I can.
You just
That
be
would
like-
be fun.
You just be like, hey, I know you don't agree with me, but
Hey, yeah. Hello. Dude, you're losing me. My brain cells are gone. Okay.
no, it's okay because for my podcast, I always want people to get to know somebody.
See, this
Beyond.
is the crackhead version.
You see, like this is like the anti like formal media. Like that's why I don't ask
Yeah.
the usual questions. Like you get this version of Janina, not whatever wherever you're on. Yeah.
Well, first, my VelaFam, thank you so much for supporting me through all of my ups and my downs and all of my content changes. To the people who don't support me, it's okay. Honestly, I don't know why you would. Just kidding. I don't know. Honestly,
To the people who don't support me, same.
Same, dude. Same. To the people who don't like me, oh, I feel that every day. Yeah, I hope that your hate for me doesn't spill over to hate for the nation, and you register to vote anyway. Even if you agree or don't agree with the things that I've said in this podcast or the things that I tweet, you're right to vote never changes. Your voice cannot be taken away from you. And if you are part of the Gen Z or millennial sector, I hope that you really acknowledge that we won't reach the 40 million without you. We won't reach that 2% without you. So I hope that you realize that collectively we can make change, and you won't. And I hope that you believe in the Philippines as much as I do, and we will keep fighting for hope.
Nice, Janina. Why can't I speak? Janina, this was fun.
Yeah.
I hope you come back. I'm so glad that you invited yourself on here. And I'm really excited for the Enneagram to continue and for you to psychoanalyze more people.
Yeah, dude. I think this is the only way that I can judge people in a way that is not sin. Dude, we should end this podcast. I don't even know anymore.
Yeah. All right, Janina Vela. You can catch her everywhere: Twitter, Instagram. You're doing a Kumu now. YouTube, everywhere else. Just check her out online. Google her. She's everywhere.
No, don't Google me. Please.
All right. Thanks, Janina.